What's up, my family? Listen, first-time listener, or you've been here the whole damn time. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, giddy up, let's go, no notes.
That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
What the hell was that? Oh, yeah!
What the f*** are you talking about?
Everybody knows that's Tom Ornan's voice. Happy birthday to Tom.
Happy birthday, Tom.
Like, what the? What's going on, y'all? We're back again for another session here on A2D Radio with vetted Irving Fryar. That's my dog, Hollis Thomas, in the house. Big dog.
Yes, sir.
You've been to the billiards place. Billiards recreation?
That's Royal Billiards.
Royalty over there.
Royal Billiards and recreation. It's one of the coolest places that I've ever had the pleasure of visiting. Although we didn't have lunch and we discussed that last time. We're going to have lunch this next time. It has everything for your game room and man cave needs. This is a family-owned business. It's been there for about 41 years. They're probably celebrating their 41st year of business, being one of the most baller-ass game room and recreation spots in the Delaware Valley. They have everything from pool tables, shuffleboards, card tables, billiard accessories, dart supplies. I play darts there. I'm not that good at darts. That's a whole nother story. They have bars and they have this bar stool. When we go out there, I'm gonna make sure that you get to sit in the Irv. It's like a king's throne, and it's plush. It's tremendous. I love my time out there. What's up, Marty? Marty's the little French bulldog that became a buddy out there. And sometimes your muscles are feeling kind of sore. They like to make it hotter. They have a bowl of ass spreads of hot tubs out there for all of your needs, for all of your hot tubs needs. It's one of the most awesome places I've been, and I suggest you. I suggest you go out there. Or actually, you don't have to go out there. You could go to royalbilliards.com, or just go out there and visit the showroom it's in Comar, PA. Just tell them the Tag Dog sent you, and you heard it here on A2D Radio, and bring some snacks for Marty. He's often looking for something to eat.
What kind of dog is Marty?
That's a small French bulldog.
Marty the bulldog.
Yeah, they named him Marty because apparently the owners used to go to Mardi Gras all the time, and and so they named him Marty for Mardi Gras.
Wow. Royal Billiards.
Royal Billiards.
It sounds like a vacation place.
Yeah, it is. It's
all that stuff going on, man.
It's like when I went in there, it's like, oh man. It's like if you turn into a kid. Oh, I forgot to tell everybody they have those big video games, from back in the day. But they have all the video games listed up there, and you can play. I was over there playing Miss Pac-Man, and I was about to play Space Invaders.
Wow, is that like Galactica or something like that?
They didn't have Galactica. Galaga. They had Galaga.
Galaga. Okay, yeah.
Yes, they didn't have Defender. I was myth. They said that's a whole nother program. So we handle that.
Well, listen, everybody. Good to see some of you on right now. Dan Wood, I believe. Island Smoothies. That's Vinny Capriati.
Dan Wood. That's
JD Stroh. Yeah.
That's from Dan Woods. Is from the place I took you, the Wooden Indian. That's
Dan. Okay.
Yeah, Woods. Yeah, that's Dan. Not Dave. That's Dan. That's the younger guy. Yeah.
All right. What's going on, Dan? Thanks for being with us today. We're going to try to interact with you all today, give you an opportunity to ask any questions. If you have a question for us today in our interaction, in our dialogue, and we're going to dialogue today, just throw up a Q, then a semicolon, and that way our producer, Ralphie, will see it. It'll catch his eye. He can throw it up on the screen for us, and we can answer any questions you have today. Listen, our agree or disagree statement today is that Dallas Goedert will catch the first pass against the Vikings today for the Eagles. Dallas Goedert.
Yeah.
Since he didn't catch any last week, he only got targeted one time against the Patriots, which is that's blasphemy, really, for
Well,
the Eagles,
well,
for Dallas Goedert to not catch a ball.
Well, it is. It shows you two things. I know you remember when we was talking about this game coming up. That Bill Belichick is a bit of a master of taking things away that you love, and everybody knows that we love to go to Dallas Goedert. And it was just like one of those things where he got targeted the one time, but I got the game plan in the background. So it's the one thing that I noticed, they had a bracket coverage that he uses on every time he plays one of those big time tight ends. I feel like we did just enough to win. It was a hard fought victory, and the one thing that me and you were talking about before this is what Joe Burrow said. It's what happens when your team doesn't play in the preseason and get no real time action. Joe Burrow said he stood up. That was one of the things that I was proud to see. And I don't like the Cowboys that much, but Dak Prescott impressed me with his news conference and where he didn't fly off the deep end. Or he said it's just one game. He said it's not going to happen every week. I was like, what? You're not talking about how about them Cowboys? You're not talking about Super Bowl? Yeah, because in the past he be up there and act a donkey. But it's like,
what exactly is donkey?
Just a jackass, a stupid idiot. Just say outlandish things that it's one, like you said, it's one game. The one thing that I did know about this game, everybody thought we was gonna, win by a bunch of double digits and stuff. I was like, but our guys did. I was like, I had it at 10 or 9, but I was like, I felt like our guys didn't do that much in preseason. And you saw the only side that did a lot of preseason was our defense, who played a lot of preseason due to the fact that we had a new defense and a bunch of new guys in that defense, and it showed in the game. They were up to speed with the Patriots, but our offense was like kind of behind the 8 ball a little bit. Even though they were able to muster up the plays here and there, our defense carried us in the game. And that the other part too is the fact that our defense wasn't the Achilles heel for us in this game. They were actually the reason why we won.
Of course.
It's like if you look at most of the time when we play a decent team or a team that seemed like they had our number, our defense, I wouldn't have been comfortable with our defense on the field at last time, last year at this time. But that was just one of the things that I observed, because I was actually in Boston too. It was great. With shout out to the Northeast Philadelphia Eagle fans of Boston. Them my peoples up there. They took care of us. Yeah, it was great.
Had a good time, huh?
Yeah, it was great.
One of the things that I, thought would take place early in the season, because of the fact that the defense has 6 new starters on it, I thought that something unusual would take place, meaning the offense would be ahead of the defense starting the season. That normally is the opposite way, where the defense starts out a little bit ahead of the offense, because the offense, there's more timing and guys got to work together and learn one another, particularly if you have any new pieces on the offense. And I thought that would be the case with the Eagles this year, particularly in the first game of the season, but that wasn't the case. And again, it's in my opinion, is tied directly, particularly the offense, is tied directly to the fact that nobody on offense, with the exception of Juergens, Cam Juergens, and the running backs, nobody else on offense played one down in the preseason. So for me, it was going to be interesting to see, could the Eagles offense hit the ground running and start where they left off pretty much last year. They haven't played football in that case since February. And that was very evident to me at the beginning of the game. Matter of fact, the whole game, it was very evident to me that was not the case. They're lethargic. I'm going to say it. They were lethargic. I was going to call it something else. They were very lethargic, and they seemed very out of sync. They seemed even hesitant at times in terms of what they were trying to do as the ball was snapped and they entered into the play and trying to execute. It was very bogged down at times. Didn't seem fluid. And I attribute some of that, or at least half of it, I should say, to the fact that they didn't play any time in the preseason. Right. Now, like you said, you got a defensive genius on the other side of the ball who was doing things, and even some of the players on offense admitted they were seeing things that they didn't recognize that was causing hesitation, I should say. And Belichick, I'm sure Belichick, one of the things Belichick did, and correct me if I'm wrong, Big Dog, because you see this stuff more than I do in this area of the field. Belichick, because this happened with the Chiefs last year in the playoffs. I mean, not playoffs, Super Bowl. Right. The Eagles struggled handling a blitz up the middle. Yeah. They struggled a couple of times handling the blitz offensively, handling the defensive blitz up the middle of the field. And I'm sure Belichick went back and looked at that. Okay, let's look at the teams that beat the Eagles last year and what they did and what the Eagles struggled with. And let's watch that film and see if we can incorporate some of that in this game so we can open the season up with a win against the Eagles. And I'm sure that's what Belichick looked at and incorporated some of that in the defense that played against the Eagles last Sunday.
Well, I thought it was more that he was attacking the weak link in the offensive line, which was Jurgens being the guard.
But Jurgens played well.
I'm not. But
the rest of the offensive line was. Jalen got sacked 3 times.
Yeah, I know. But it's like, that was his thinking and run those blitzes up the middle. When you look at the one blitz, they ran 6 at us, and we only had 5 to block. That was a receiver thing where he's supposed to get the hot route. And I think it was just that they was disguising things so well, and the bracket coverages they was doing. I was just happy that we only had the one turnover, and he held on to the ball, and he did the right thing by eating the ball, because you don't throw in certain coverages where you see one thing and then the ball snaps and somebody jumps and like, oh God, what happened? So it was one of those things where I was okay with just winning the way we did ugly, but the W is sexy. The victory was ugly, but the W is sexy. When you in the grand scheme of things, it's like when you're playing against a guy like this, it's not going to be pretty. He's going to do any and everything to trick you. And the thing was, it's like I'm looking at it now, and you look at he got a DB on right now. He got a DB on Goddard. They end up getting a holding call because the DB can handle Goddard. It's like so when you look at the things that he did and the way he switches things around, and sometimes some of those defensive ends that can run fast that they have and play linebacker. So he's always tricky you in what he's doing. So it's a constant game of chess. It's like
genius.
Yeah, but the one thing that when you talking and you start talking about how lethargic he looked. Your boy caught a pass. Quez Watkins.
Well, they threw to him a couple of times early in the game.
Oh, they did?
Yeah, he caught a couple balls early in the game, which was, to me, I thought maybe they were just trying to help him get his feet wet and continue in his confidence in himself so he could start the season off the right way. That's what they were doing. Okay, cool. Or maybe that's just where the read led Jalen to throw the ball. Because the other two players or receivers, A.J. Brown and Devontae, would cover. But we got a commercial. I want to ask you a question after we come back from this commercial, all right?
Okay.
All right. Let's hit the commercial, Val.
Royal Billiard and Recreation, proudly celebrating 40 years and our new, bigger showroom.
Twice the size and twice the fun.
More pool tables by Olhausen. More dartboard sets, including custom reclaimed backboards. More bar and kitchen stools that can change a room.
And more bars, including pre-built and custom.
Hot tubs, skee ball, shuffleboard, outdoor, and fun. Royal Billiard and Recreation, your ultimate game room store. Now located on Bethlehem Pike in Colmar.
All right, we're back. A2D Radio. This is Vetted, Irving Fryar, and Hollis Thomas. Big Dog, here's my question for you. And I got some interesting stat for you later on, too. It's something that people we hear about, but never really look at it statistically and measure it. So I'm going to ask you about it later on in the show. So Brian Flores is the defensive coordinator for the Vikings tonight.
Oh, yeah.
He's a disciple of Bill Belichick. He was with Belichick for 8 years. They won 2, 3, 4 Super Bowls together.
Yeah.
So do you think that there's been a conversation between Flores and Belichick about how to stop the Eagles? Because I have an opinion, or at least a theory, on what's happening and what happened against the Patriots that stymied the RPOs that we normally run successfully. Well, so do you think we're going to see some more of the same thing tonight at the Eagles game that we saw in the Patriots defense?
I think they're going to try to, but I think the one thing that if you notice and watch the game, we didn't run that many RPOs, and that was, and then Swift didn't get in enough for me either. I know he fumbled off the rip like right away, and that kind of like nixed you from kind of playing him because he had something going on. But you could definitely, man, this is a copycat league. You're most definitely going to see some of the same looks.
Right.
But I think with the guys, I think the one thing that I do know that they make the halftime adjustments, and I think that he'll come back. He'll come back to that, and he'll have a different thing for those looks that he got. But you could almost guarantee that he's going to see some of the same stuff he saw. But I don't think the Vikings have that type of personnel.
Okay, but here's the challenge. You know, they played Sunday,
right?
Last Sunday, and did not look. You know, they weren't up to par. They weren't up to par. They look much less than themselves. So here we are, just 4 days later. You know, they didn't practice 4 days. They probably got maybe two good days of practice in.
Right?
Can all of that change in just 2 days?
I think going back to correct the mistakes, because this is what I know in the newfangled way that they do things. It's like the game plan for the Vikings had already been due to the condensed,
right?
Because you know, two games in less than a week.
Well, you're probably planning, both teams probably plan game plan for both games at the same time.
Correct. And so, and then when you think about it, it's good that for us, it's good that Brian Flores is a disciple of Bill Belichick. But the one thing too, you have to go back and look at how Brian Flores deployed the defense of the Miami Dolphins. So it's like he's a good defensive coordinator, extremely good defensive coordinator. So you can expect clear present danger in the entire game, but we have the necessary weapons to combat that and to make this get ugly quick. And then and then not only that, you look at the Vikings, their starting center is hurt.
Yeah, the center and the left tackle's hurt.
Hurt. And that they only had 41. Their top rusher had 41 yards off 11 carries last week. It's like it's one of those things where you know that they're going to come out and try to pass a lot, and it may play into our hands.
Well, they have to. Dalvin Cook's gone, so they don't have a formidable runner. Dalvin's not there, so they have to look somewhere else, and they don't have anybody that's equal to that. So there was a question earlier, Ralph, about the one you put up. I think it was DM.
Somebody want me to suit up if
no, they didn't want you to suit up. No, I'm missing DM was SMD Eagles. Yeah, thank you, Ralph. He said, in your opinion, how do you think this is what I wanted to talk about, the new coordinators. How did our new coordinators do in the game? Personally, let me go first.
Go ahead.
Big dog. I think that Brian Johnson was really nervous in that game, particularly given the fact that he was calling plays against a Bill Belichick defense. I think he was really nervous. And I think particularly some of the plays in the first couple of series, he was very conservative, just trying to get the team going and trying not to make any mistakes. Yeah, they're trying to feel the Patriots defense out and see exactly what they were doing. But as it got into the game, obviously Belichick was a little more innovative and creative than Brian was able to deal with. So I think he was very nervous. I mean, this is my first time calling plays in the NFL, and the first defense I'm calling plays against is the Bill Belichick defense. So I believe he was nervous in doing that, and that also played into the fact that the offense was a little bit, off kilter. They weren't in sync with one another. So that's my take on it. Plus, he did not really call plays with the number one offense in preseason. So they really didn't get any kind of chance to get in any kind of rhythm and to get a feel for one another, and particularly him in any kind of given situation. Those kind of situations can happen in preseason, and it's full speed and it's game situation, and you got to make decisions, and there's different situations. You call different plays, different strategies. Never got any of that in the preseason.
Yeah. And the other thing too is like when we didn't see that many RPOs, I was like, they used to be our bread and butter. We used to put people on notice. We put pressure on the defense. I felt the same way. I felt like he was nervous. And then it was one particular point in the game where I saw Nick Sirianni like, what the hell was that? It was offense. What the hell was that? It's like, what are we doing?
When I see the head coach, you see the head coach like, what you doing?
What are we doing? What are we doing? It's like, so to me, I think he's probably going to have a little quick talk with him and tell him to loosen up. It's your job right now. Just don't botch it up. Seize the second. But I felt like Joe Desai. I felt like he came in with a quality game plan against the offense, against a decent offense, because I think all of us from last season were thinking about the debacle that the Patriots put on the field last year, and I think that they thought that they were going to see the same thing. I knew that Bill O'Brien was going to come in there and bring some stability to the offensive side and have Mac Jones back on the right. Yeah, good play call back and have Mac Jones back on the same page. The thing that I do want to see this game. I'm not done with Evans, but I would like to see the other safeties in there because I saw the back of his jersey too many times on the touchdowns in which the Patriots scored. You're out of position. I can't have you out of position. I can't have you out of position like that. You're the last line of defense. That's why you're the safety. So the ball shouldn't be going over your head or to somebody that's back there. I felt like he blitzed when he needed to, and I felt like at the end of the game, if you notice at the end of the game, the defense didn't even look flustered. You see when Fletcher Cox went out there, got two quick good plays. Came off the field. See, it was like the guys, the way he has them honed in and tuned up. I think it's gonna be a better defense than we saw last year. Maybe not as many sacks but I think we're gonna be in situations to where that we can close the game out and we can shut people down, and we're not giving up 8 to 10 to 12 play drives.
Right. Well, Marcus from Pro Fan Talk, one of our colleagues here on A2D Radio, he says that the defense saved the game.
Did they ever? Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, you're right, because the offense, the only had one score on offense, and that was the result of a defensive play, putting them in position to score. So
and a pick six by big play Slay.
Big play Slay. And it wasn't a great interception because the ball just dropped into his hands, but it was a great run. That was an extremely phenomenal run after the catch to make it a pick six.
Do you know how many times people drop those?
Man, not Slay. Slay doesn't drop. The ball it floated up in the air and dropped right in his lap.
Do you know how many times other people drop those passes, man?
Yeah, well, I know Slay gave up a touchdown later on, and I was a little bit disappointed in the secondary, the passing defense, because Mac Jones threw for like 316 yards, 3 TDs. Man, that's more than the Eagles gave up last year in any game. Yeah, and everybody's talking about Jonathan Gannon. Well, come on, Sean Desai, what's going on? The first game, and Mac Jones. Listen to me. Mac Jones, everybody hear this. I'm saying it right now. Mac Jones is at best an average quarterback in the NFL. At best. Then he comes in and throws for 316 yards and 3 TDs, and he's not, that offense is not that good. They scored they scored 23 or more points last year 3 times in the season. That's it. Below average offense. And we just
but they had a different
play caller.
Right.
Yeah. Offensive coordinator. And Mac Jones was very defiant last year. He didn't like that Patricia was there. And that was, I thought Belichick was losing his mind, because who takes he's a defensive guy. Defensive coordinator, and make him your offensive coordinator. Who does that? That was stupid.
Not only that, he took Joe Judge was over there as well. Joe Judge, who was the special teams coordinator, and and had them each changing off calling plays. I was like, what in the hell is going on over here?
Yep, the average backup starting at center. So yeah, we should. I want to give you this stat since Pro Fan Talk, Marcus put that up there. But I want to give you this. I was looking at something, and hopefully I can get this out before the next commercial. I was looking at something. So on the defensive line, they have something that's called get off.
right?
Where you guys get off the ball. Everybody's heard about that, but there's some measuring that they're doing, and they've done it this first week of the season,
right?
And they measured the top 8 guys who have the fastest get off on defensive line in the first week of the season. The top 8, the time it takes for you to get off the ball, line of scrimmage after the ball's snapped. We got 5 in the top 8 from week 1. So Myles Garrett, his get off is 0.58. He averaged 0.58 the first week. Josh Sweat, he's number 2, 0.59. Jalen Carter, 0.68. Hassan Reddick, 0.70. Nick Bosa, 0.70. Yannick, I can't say his last name.
Ndakwe.
Yeah. Okay. 0.72. Fletcher Cox and Milton Williams, 0.72. We got 5 of the top 8 quickest get-offs, defensive linemen week 1. We should be doing a better job.
Yeah, ball on the stick. Ball on the stick.
I know the Eagles practice that. They emphasize that.
Yeah, it's like when you look at it, I feel like it was a good game that our defense came to play. We were able to put ourselves in position to score, not only get a touchdown, but put the offense in position to score as a defense. And then you want to close the game. If you want to be as a defense, you want to be put in a position to close the game out. And they was in there to close the game out. Even Bradbury went down with a concussion. I don't think he's playing today.
No, he's not going to play
today. And Josh Jobe came in. He did a good job. I was laughing because they was like, he got in. I was like, he clearly didn't get in. Like, you talk about a catch. I don't know what the hell the jackasses up in that booth were looking at.
All right, you got to read, man.
I got you covered, baby.
Here it comes.
Yes, we got the Royal Billiards and Recreation is one of the coolest places for all of your game room and man cave needs. I had the pleasure of visiting this place not too long ago, and I was treated like a king. Speaking of treated like a king, they have pool tables, shuffle boards, card tables, billiard accessories, dart supplies, bars, and they have a throne as a bar stool. You have to test that one out. They have a bunch of great bar stools that are big dog friendly. I'll explain to you what big dog friendly is later.
Wide butts.
Well, no, it's like the big dog friendly means like sometimes some chairs have armrests on them, but they make them for the tiny jokers. And so they be digging into your sides and stuff. So it's
like I said, wide butts.
It's kind of an uncomfortable seat. and they can make it hot because they got a baller ass spread, a hot tub so you can soothe your muscles, or if you just want to sit in there with a quality cocktail or adult beverage and chill out. Royal Billiards has been in business for about 41 years. It's a family-owned business, and you can reach them by going on royalbilliards.com or just go out to the Delaware Valley in it's Kumar, Pennsylvania. It's right there. It was easy to find for me. Say what's up to Marty for me. Oh yeah. And when I come back, we got to get lunch, and I'm bringing my bathing suit next time so I get in the hot tub.
Wow.
Oh yeah, I almost forgot about the video games. The video games. I was on the video games for a while. I don't know how to reset it though. You have to let all your men die on the video game before you can play another game. We got to fix that. That's a glitch in the matrix. But Royal Billiards. Tell them to take that you heard it on A2D.
Bathing suit? You don't wear a Speedo, do you?
No, I just wear shorts, man. It's just
okay.
I wear swimming trunks. I'm a grown man. I don't disrespect the human eye. I don't disrespect the human eye by putting on a Speedo.
Let's talk about this for a minute, because we know that the NFL is a copycat league. Okay. Correct. We also know what's the quarterback's name down in Baltimore?
Lamar Jackson.
Lamar Jackson. We know Lamar Jackson had a couple of really good years. Then after that, he really wasn't just okay.
Right.
And everybody attributes that to the fact that these defensive coordinators, they watch film during the offseason, they figure out how to stop a guy like Lamar, who's a runner, great runner. Some suggest that the same thing may be happening or could be happening right now with defensive coordinators having a whole year, because Jalen kind of broke out last year. He surprised a lot of people last year. They really didn't know exactly how productive he could be, if he could run the ball and throw the ball. Obviously, he proved all of that. He can do it all. Yeah. But they had the whole offseason, a whole year of film to watch Jalen and try to figure out a way to minimize what he does. One of the reasons that the Eagles didn't run, as you mentioned, as many RPOs as they normally would have is because there was something set up in a look for the defense to keep it from happening. And when they did run the RPO, they were less effective, because you notice that when Jalen would pull the ball out of the back's belly and run himself, there was nowhere for him to go. Right. So are there teams, again, are they figuring out what to do to stop the RPO and minimize what this offense can do? And when they do run an RPO, are they making Jalen 1 or 2 dimensional instead of 3 dimensional in RPO, meaning he can pull the ball out, he can give the ball to the back, or he can pull it out, run, pull it out and throw. But they're setting things up defensively to make him have to pull the ball out, keep the ball himself, and then we're going to get there where he's going before he gets there. Yeah.
And I've seen that happen a little bit when we played against the Commanders. And I don't know if you noticed what they started doing. What they started doing was what the team started doing was getting the blocker out in front, bringing the extra guy in motion, bringing the extra tight end over, just in case. I didn't see a lot of that type of motion and that type of window dressing to deter that, because all you got to do is get in somebody's way to stop him from tackling him. He's not an easy guy to bring down, but it is a copycat league, but everybody doesn't have the personnel to do what the Patriots did this past weekend. They're coached well, they do their job. Well, it's nothing to do in Boston. I was just up there. All you have is football to do. But
remember I spent 9 years in New England, and it was less to do when I was there. That's why I got in trouble. That's why I got in trouble all the time, because there was nothing to do.
I was flying somewhere else. But no, it depends on the level of competition that you're going against too. And I'm not going to the weather. Both of us had to play in the weather. But I still think that he'll be able to make enough plays and more plays to where you still have to put somebody on notice, and that'll open up those windows so he'll start pulling the ball out and throwing the ball, because you can't be in 2 places at one time.
Right. Well, I thought that's what the Bears did last year, and that attributed to the fact them being able to tackle Jalen before he could slide, and it led to his shoulder getting hurt. But I just kind of feel that that's what's going on. They're trying to limit what he can do in those RPOs and make him keep the ball. And when you tackle him hard, tackle him before he can get a chance to slide. That way it's a legal hit when they fall on him. Right. Because what happened last year with the Bears, that was not an illegal hit.
It wasn't an illegal hit. No. The one thing too is, like, as we're talking about, is like he's had a chance to digest this, and it's been done to him like twice in the last 2 games. The same type of defenses. It's like our offense is able to run the ball without the RPO as well. But the RPOs make it so much tougher for the defense to defend. And when you add the RPO, you don't know whether he's going to pull it out and pass it, or if he's going to pull it out and run. So as a defensive back, you got to make the choice, especially if you're defending it the way they ran some man coverage when they were defending the RPO. That's what you have to do, because if somebody has him. But if you do that, you got to realize too, your defensive backs aren't always disciplined. So you're gonna be willing to give up the big play.
Lynch 33 says has a question: what adjustments can Desai make to cover the middle of the field this week?
Man,
you're the defensive guy. Put somebody in the middle of the
field. I say Sidney Brown and Edmonds. I think they'll show up the middle of the field this week, because it's like when you looked at it last week, a lot of times the guys were out of position. I felt like, I don't know what the hell they were thinking about starting Evans, because I hadn't seen him in preseason. But he was, if you look at it, a lot of times why do you think I keep remembering his name? I saw the back of his jersey on all the touchdowns.
So, well, listen, the Vikings got a good tight end, that TJ Hawkinson.
He
caught 8 balls last week against Tampa Bay.
Yeah.
And understand this. Listen, N'Kobe Dean is down. James Bradbury's down. Blankenship out with ribs. Fletcher Cox probably out with ribs. That's on the defensive side.
Well, Fletcher's probably going to play now. Okay, with Reed Blankenship going down, you still have Edmonds. You brought Morrow up because we brought him back, and then you still have the kid that we love, Sid Brown, and then you got Job, but then you had Job over there, and you got the kid Ricks, who's we got some secondary depth and some guys who I don't mind that Bradbury, especially on the midweek game. I wouldn't mind these guys. I feel like it's I think we're gonna be okay.
I have no doubt that we'll win this game. I think it's going to be another because of the short span of time, Sunday to Wednesday, and because of the struggle with Sunday, and because of the fact of what we've been talking about. This is a copycat league, and got Flores. We got to go against a defense that's going to probably do some of the same things that the Patriots did last week because of his relationship and his training under Belichick and his experience in the league. So it's going to be another grinder. I don't think it's going to be one of those games where we have a lot of big plays, particularly on offense. It's going to be another one where we have to grind out. But you know, like I know, and anybody who's played in the league, we know that you have to be able to win those ugly games. You know, you're not always going to come out and everything go well and the ball fall your way and you're going to make big plays all the time. A lot of those games, most of those games, you got to grind out, and there's going to be ugly moments in it. But like you said, when you come out with the W, that's all that matters. It doesn't matter on the golf course how you get that ball in the hole. You can roll it on the ground for 300 yards. As long as it gets in the hole and you got par, there's no pictures on the scorecard.
Our defensive front should just put on the show today. I'm just saying.
Sure.
I feel like our defensive front should put on the show because the starting center, he's gone down like a ton of bricks, and the went out with something in his back. So,
and we got a monster. We got a monster, Jalen Carter.
Yes.
He's just getting started, man. His NFL debut, gets a sack, got a few pressures. He was a beast. He was a beast. And you know what? Could have gotten a few more sacks, but Mac Jones was getting the ball out.
Yeah.
They were close to him many times where he was throwing the ball. He was getting it out of his hand. So, I'm very impressed with, and here we go. Not just Carter, but my boy, Jordan Davis.
Yes.
Yeah. I was concerned about him, but he balled out.
I was concerned.
He showed up. He showed up.
He showed up big time when Ezekiel. That's what I was laughing because somebody was like, he didn't even do that. I was like, I was like, Ezekiel didn't expect a 350-pound man to be swatting at the ball when he caught that pass. So that's why they tell you to come out the pack running.
Right. So, and I think it's just going to get better. It's just going to get better as the season goes on for those guys. So what do the Eagles, in your opinion, what needs to get better this week? The Vikings, Cousins, Justin Jefferson. Justin Jefferson, and Addison, the rookie. He's coming along. He got a touchdown last week in his NFL debut. So I think that adds, because he wasn't there last year. They really didn't have a complement to Jefferson. Right. But now, Jefferson's got somebody on the other side that defenses have to pay attention to. If not, he's very capable of putting points on the board and scoring points and making a bunch of catches.
I don't think Jefferson needs anybody on the other side.
No, he's a bad boy now. But listen, remember when he got here last year,
he got shut down.
Slay shut him down.
And
Slay played him, and he swapped field with him. Understand this. What the Vikings did last year, they put Jefferson in the slot, and Slay didn't follow him in the slot.
Right.
I think Cousins threw the ball 50 times. I think he threw it 47 times. They had 54 pass plays. He threw it 47 times, and 36 of those plays Jefferson was in the slot.
Mm-hmm.
But when Slay was with him out on the outside, and he did follow him side to side, but when Slay was with him on the outside, he was with him for 15 plays. They targeted him 6 times, and Slay got Jefferson caught 1 ball for 7 yards, and Slay got 2 picks, and I think three knockdowns or something like that. So, so Slay shut him down. Sometimes there's always that guy that can match up well and do well against another guy, and I think that's the way it is with Slay. So we'll see today. Is Slay going to have another big day like that? Is he going to match up with him? The only problem with Slay going side to side with Justin Jefferson is now Job's got to go to the other side. And, you know, corners, at least corners, like to play their side. They like to be on the side that, whether it's the right or left, and use the sideline to their strength to play the receiver. But that's also one of the reasons why Slay doesn't go in the slot, because guess what? I got no sidelines to use. You don't have the extra man. You don't have the extra man. You don't have that sideline. So it's going to be an interesting battle. I think Justin Jefferson is very much aware of the fact that he got shut down. Probably one of the only times last year he got shut down, and that Slay shut him down. So he didn't get much sleep last night, and he's going to be, he's going to be
the one thing that and everybody that's watching too, tell me what you think of this. I want to hear your opinion. Do you think Justin Jefferson is going to hold up or blow up? Do you think he's going to welcome the challenge of playing against Slay, or you think he's going to run around and try to run away from Slay and not let Slay check him?
Well, what I think is it's not going to be up to, because they did it last year. It's not going to be up to Justin. They're going to put him in motion. They're going to run him out of the slot to keep Slay, because Deion Sanders would do the same thing. Deion would play outside, but when you got in the slot, Deion wouldn't play in the slot.
Right.
So I think offensively, for them to have the best chance to be successful, and for Jefferson to have the best chance to have a good game or a decent game, they're going to be putting him in the slot. They're going to be motioning him back and forth and snapping the ball, not when he's outside, but when he's inside in the slot. So I don't think that's really Justin's choice. I think offensively, that's what gives them the best chance to be productive, particularly with him.
Ooh. You know what, the one thing that I want to see, if they just do the mano a mano like back in the day, where it's like, you don't run from it. Don't run from a challenge. I understand what you said about he's not going to get it. It's not going to be up to him. They're going to try to get him loose, and then he'll probably be in front of he probably be in front of Slay a couple of times. And Slay probably follow him to the outside.
Right.
The other thing too, as well, is when you look at the game this past week, did you ever think that the 2 people that we cut and brought back would help us out in the game? The punter and the kickoff return guy.
No,
both of them.
No.
Both the punter had some good punts, and the kickoff return guy actually had a return that put us in position to score.
I still, when the ball is punted, when we're punting, I get nervous.
Right. When
the ball is punted to us, I get nervous because Cubby, I was a punt returner. And slash halftime kickoff returner. Sometimes kickoff returner, when the kickoff returner was hurt, I would do both duties. But I started as a wide receiver and was the starting punt returner for 8 years in a row up in New England. My first 8 years there. I remember when I didn't have to punt return my 9th year there. It was like, wow, it was the weight off my shoulders. I could just focus on being a wide receiver. But Covey makes me nervous, man. He just makes me nervous back there catching punts. I'm always nervous. Never excited, but nervous. Yeah. So I gotta read. Let me read this. I gotta read this last read before we get out of here. In 2018, the Eagles legend Brian Dawkins was inducted into the Pro Football Hall of Fame, y'all. To commemorate his moment, B-Dawk designed and launched an exclusive collaboration with Bowman Hat Company, America's oldest hat maker, on hats.com. Brian's love for hats and the Eagles were on proud display in Canton, Ohio. And now you can find yourself in the same iconic Hall of Fame fedora. Yes. Just go to hats.com and search Brian Dawkins and use the code Philly for 15% off your order. Use the code Philly for 15% off your order at hats.com. That's it.
Yeah, that's pretty cool. Hats.com.
Hats.com. Yeah. So yeah, man, it's going to be, I think the Eagles are going to win tonight. Do I think it's going to be pretty? Nope. I don't think it's going to be pretty. My prediction?
Everybody's asking for our prediction.
They're going to win by 1. No. I think it's going to be another nail biter. Will they win by 5? Like I predicted them to win by double digits. So that's 10 last week. They won by 5. I think it's going to be 3 points. They'll win by 3 points. 17-20. That's crazy numbers. 17-20.
I said we were gonna. It's gonna be hard fought early on, but I think we're gonna impose our will. It's one of those games where I think that our defense is gonna come out kind of dominating early on. I think we're gonna win 28-17, and I think the 17 maybe 21, but it's like, I know we gonna get 28. They're gonna get 17 or 21. I said 28-17, mainly because Kirk Cousins sucks. I don't care what.
He threw for 344 yards last week.
Yeah, but did you see
touchdowns?
Did you see the pick he threw?
Yeah, some picks. Yeah.
No. Did you see the one he threw?
Yeah, that's stupid.
And not only that, he was him and the coach was yelling at each other. He's yelling back at the coach. I'm like, dude, do you see the pick you just threw?
Yeah, that was stupid.
I was like, I'm sitting there looking. I was like, and another thing was I don't know if you remember James Jones, the receiver. He's on a show with Shady, and he was talking about Justin Fields being better, being more talented than Jalen Hurts.
I've heard that before too, that he's more talented than Jalen Hurts, but he's not a better quarterback than Jalen Hurts.
Well, no, you have to see the rant. That's why I'm speaking of it, because he went on an all-out belligerent rant on the show, and it was so bad that everybody, you know how everybody look at it, is like, is he off his meds or something? So when he went on this rant, I'm looking at the game on Sunday, the Bears game, and he threw like 2 or 3 picks, and I don't have any earthly idea what the hell he was looking at. And I know the quarterback coach does it. And I know if you go back and look at the picks he threw, it was Green Bay jerseys. They was wearing the dark colors of Chicago. Chicago's wearing dark colors, and Green Bay was wearing the white jerseys. It's 2 white jerseys there. What the hell are you throwing the ball there for?
Well, that's what I was watching, and I can't remember which quarterback it was. It was a prominent quarterback who played in the league, and he was talking about defensive coordinators and what defensive coordinators try to do to the quarterback. So defensive coordinators try to get quarterbacks to see something that they really don't see.
Disguise.
It's disguise.
Yes.
So he thought he was throwing the ball to someone in the same uniform as that he was wearing, but obviously he was seeing something that he wasn't seeing.
No, both uniforms were Green Bay guys. There wasn't. I don't even think there was a Chicago Bear guy around. He may have been coming into the picture late, and I was like, dude, this is not college. You don't throw the ball to the damn spot.
Well, yeah. I mean, you can, but most of the time you shouldn't.
Yeah. I was about to say, you don't do that.
Yeah, most of the time you shouldn't. You got to make sure that you're certain where that ball is supposed to go. That's one of the things that, I mean, I know Jalen turned the ball over. We can talk about this too. A couple of decisions that the coaches made in the game against the Patriots, I kind of questioned. But one of the things that we know, he fumbled the ball, and I attribute Jalen fumbling the ball this past Sunday to the fact that he didn't play any preseason. He didn't get banged around, didn't feel any hits, didn't get used to get tackled with the ball in your hand and squeezing the ball.
Tell me this, because you used to get hit. So if when you know you're not going to get hit, is there a different grip that you carry the ball with you know what I mean?
No, usually no. When you grab the ball and you decide to run, particularly as a quarterback, obviously he's holding it different when he's his intention is to pass it. But now I made the decision I'm going to run it, so you grip the ball. There's no change in grip. Now there may be change of sides that you hold the ball on. I was always taught to put the ball in the outside arm towards the sidelines. That way, if you do fumble it, it's going out of bounds. All the pressure and all the pursuit is coming from the inside. So you can use the inside arm as a weapon. But no, that shouldn't change. But he did not have his finger over the point of the ball, and that's why the ball got knocked out. And I said, like I said earlier, I attribute that to him not playing any in the preseason.
Right.
So, but that's one of the things I was going to say that Jalen does not do. I think he turned the ball over 6 times in total last year.
Yeah.
That's one of the great things about Jalen. He does not turn the ball over. And when you look at what really made the difference in the game against the Patriots, they had 2 turnovers. We had 1. We won the turnover game. And that was a big factor in us winning the game. But there was the decision to go for 4th on 4th and 2. Yeah. This is after Jalen just got finished fumbling the ball. So you know we already got by the hair of our chin, the defense stopping him. Now here we are, and it's fourth down and 2 yards to go, not 4th and half a yard, not 4th and 1, it's 4th and 2. And giving them the ball back at that point on the field really puts us in danger of losing the game for real. Yeah. And we go for it and we don't get it.
And that was one of the 2 moments that I saw Nick Sirianni. What the hell are we doing?
Yeah.
And it's mainly because the primary receiver, it shouldn't have been that was the one time that they let Dallas Goedert go.
Right. There were 3 times that Jalen should have threw the ball to Dallas. He was wide open.
Yeah, and it was like, and I think the play. It's like he's. and this is another thing too. And watching him, he's out of sync with real time action.
Right.
And so it's like
because he didn't have any real time action.
Yeah, exactly. So in real time action, you can see that he's pretty much blanketed by the guy, and so you go to your next read because you had time to go to your next read. But you go to your next read, which would have been Dallas Goedert, would have got us to first down, and then we lined up in the victory formation. But and
I understand, we get that first down on 4th down, the game is over. But it wasn't over because we didn't get the first down. So, and I don't know if they looked at the analytics that they always look at, and that's what the analytics said, that this is a good time to go for it. I don't know about that. I know they do all those kind of stats and things like that. And they make decisions based on the analytics, but I'm not sure that was the right time.
Yeah, I don't know if that was the right time either. And then if you do something like that, you just got to have a play. I could take them going for it like that. And around mid-season, if we were in mid-season form, but given the way our offense had sputtered throughout the game, I felt like our defense is playing well. Put them back deep and make them run the length of the field.
Right.
But I felt like the defense stepped up to the challenge, and you paid to play defense. You don't bitch and moan because I know I can guarantee you, had we got it, I'm on defense, had we got the first down over there slapping up, I was like, yeah. It's like, but if we did get it, it's like, well, you got to go out here and earn my keep
and save the day. You got to go out here and save the day. But that's putting undue pressure, unnecessary pressure on your defense.
Man, it's not unnecessary. I got to put my cape on to go out there and handle business.
Well, it's unnecessary because you didn't have to be at the 40-yard line.
You don't sign up for unnecessary stuff, but unnecessary stuff happens.
Right. That is true. but let it happen naturally. Don't bring it upon yourself.
Yeah, well.
That was a decision they did it to themselves.
Yeah.
It worked out okay. We know it worked out okay.
How many kids you got?
I got 4.
Okay. You put undue pressure on yourself 4 times. See?
No, that kind of was
See?
Yeah, well,
life happens.
No comment. No comment.
I love that.
Listen, you got some kids too.
I know. I love but when I didn't. When the pressure came, I just stepped up to the plate.
Well, yeah, we do that. We do that, and that's what the defense did, and that's why the Eagles got the victory. And they may have to do the same thing tonight. Listen, they may be put in a position to where the offense sputters, or there's a bad decision by the coaches, or the offense doesn't get a first down when they're trying to get a first down at the 50-yard line, which a lot of times they do. And now the onus is on the defense to get out there and get a 3 and out. That was something too that offensively that kind of bothered me. That was it 3
and out?
4 for 17 on first downs.
Yeah.
The Eagles were 4 on third down. 4 for 17 on third downs. There were a lot of 3 and outs. That was very uncharacteristic of the Eagles, and that has got to be fixed. That's got to change. You got to sustain drives. You got to get first downs. And one of the reasons they were 4 for 17 on third downs because they never really put themselves in a position to have short yardage on third downs.
Yeah,
they weren't successful on first and second downs.
Yeah, they were out of sync too because you can see it's like some of the plays that we see and we saw from last year. They were routine plays to them and they were in sync. You had to build that continuity and get back on the same page as you was last year. That's the one thing with that not playing in the preseason does it kind of puts you behind the 8 ball a little bit and catching up with people who did play in the preseason and the kind of you want to hit you don't want to peak in preseason, but you want to hit the regular season rolling.
Right. We want to hit the ground running. Yeah. And you know what? One of you on offense, I don't know. I guess it could be the same on defense, but on offense, you want to be able to call the plays you want to call, not call plays you have to call. Meaning, on first and second down, we want to be successful on first and second down so that on third down, we can call what we want to rather than being in a position on third down where we got 3rd and 5 or 3rd and 6. Now we have to call what we have to call as opposed to the call we want to call. So I think it's important for the Eagles offensively in order to get on track tonight against the Vikings to concentrate on, making sure we get the yardage that we need to make sure on third downs we can make the calls we want to call rather than have to call plays that we have to call because we're in a 3rd and long situation.
Yeah, we got to start forcing the issue and putting suckers on notice. So after the first few series, we can come out and do whatever the hell we want to do and just have them on their heels. Because that's the one thing. If you don't come out aggressively and put them on notice that it's going to be a long day. It's going to be short for us, but I hope you brought your lunch, breakfast, and dinner.
Well, didn't you think that was going to happen against the Patriots when Slay ran that interception back for a touchdown? We started off right off the bat. Nah. You didn't think that, okay, this is going to be a game where it's not going to be a struggle, that we're going to actually, dominate this team or at least have our way with this team. It's going to be an easy victory. I thought that for a minute at the beginning.
Because it was because of the way the offense was sputtering. That's why
they hadn't been out. They hadn't been out enough to sputter. They
had been. Was it 2 series or 1 series?
It was just 1 series. It was one series.
On the first series, we going downfield. Right?
Yeah, well, that was the case last year. Yeah, most cases we went down the field and scored.
That's offense come out against
mid-season form, and we knew that wasn't going to happen.
I know. So when you see your offense come out and do what they did in the first series, it's like, yep, this is going to be a long one. It's going to be a long, drawn-out battle.
Well, again, for me, I wasn't concerned about them not driving down the field and scoring the first offensive possession. Because I knew, Brian Johnson wasn't going to just come out and flower, as Sirianni would say, just come out and bloom and be this fantastic play caller and, have all this stuff going on. And we're seeing new wrinkles that they put into. I knew that wasn't going to happen. I knew that wasn't going to happen. So I attributed them, the first series, them not going down to scoring or not, having to punt the ball. I attributed that to his nervousness and the newness of him having to call plays for the first time, and obviously against Bill Belichick or Belichick, as you would say.
Yeah, Belichick.
I forgot what I was going to ask you, man.
I don't know.
So do you want to see? Okay, Gainwell is out,
right?
Do you want to? I mean, obviously, we need to see more of Swift
and Penny. Swift and Penny. I want to see Swift.
So do you think it should be Swift and Penny?
I think Swift and Penny, but you're gonna have to incorporate Boston Scott in there because you're gonna see some of those same blitzes. If somebody asked a question in the it's talking about, do you think our running backs are good enough to pick up the blitzes? I think Gainwell and Boston Scott are, and I don't know Swift. I think Swift can but I don't know if he knows our offense well enough. That's why you have to incorporate Scott in there because he knows the offense well, and he's a good guy at the backfield. He's actually a mismatch to all the linebackers and the defensive backs.
Mhm.
So when you look at it, and if they decide to blitz, he's good enough to pick up the blitz. He's good enough to pick up a blitz and stuff. But when you think about it, I think the other guy is going to be the 1-2 punch, running the ball down their throat because Rashard Penny and Swift. I think Swift gets off tonight. His first real home game, first real home game in his hometown. I think he gets off. I think he gets off tonight, and you're gonna see Rashard why we kept Rashard Penny. So
well, a lot of people were not. I guess they were complaining that Swift didn't get much play or any play in the game against the Patriots, and why not? And then I heard someone say that was the game plan, meaning they were planning for both games for the Patriots, and 5 days later the Vikings. So that was the game plan, to play game well against the Patriots, and then 4 or 5 days later, starting Swift. That's what the coaches were planning on doing, and that's why you didn't see much of Swift in the first game, because they were planning on using him against the Vikings.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think it's a good strategy too, because
it could be, if that's what they did.
It's like when you look at it, it's like the same guy is not going to be like ready on by Thursday.
Not a running back.
Yeah, not a running back.
Not if he's
And if since we got 3 or 4 good ones in there,
right.
So it's like this is actually great for our team.
Yeah.
And I think we're gonna come out and show out. And I see in the comment that somebody say Sidney Brown will get a pick tonight. Damn Skippy. Damn Skippy.
Who's that? Bong bong bong. Who's that? Fortnite Kitty. My brother, I'm probably listen. That's something. Bong bong bong. I got to keep that. I see you, bro. That's something we used to say in a small group that I was a part of about, what was it? About 8 years ago. I was in a group about 8 years ago, and we used to have this little saying to one another. We go bong bong bong. I'm gonna leave it at that. I see you. I see you. So listen, we both going to the game tonight. If you're going to be there, we'll see you there. But that's it for us. I'm excited about the Eagles season.
Me too.
We're going to be 2-0 after tonight. We'll see you next week.
Quickly.
Oh yeah, I'm sorry, Hollis.
No.
I'm
just gonna give you guys today is September the 14th is the 257th day of the year. There's 108 days left. I'm gonna just give you guys a couple of quick national holidays. Today is National Creamfield Donut Day. And you remember when you were a kid, you used to use coloring books all the time to get the different ones. Today is National Coloring Day, and it's a National Eat a Hoagie Day, and God Stoppers, which is Jawbreaker Day. So I'll just leave you guys with that.
National Jawbreaker Day.
Jawbreaker Day, yes.
They still make jawbreakers, man?
Yes, they do.
They do?
Yes, they do.
When's the last time you had one?
I don't eat those anymore. And I cannot forget my girl Wendy Thomas, 1961. Wendy Thomas, Wendy's daughter, the burger store. Today is her birthday. Wendy's, the burger.
Okay, at the burger. At the burger,
the little girl that's on the picture. Yeah, she's born. Her real name is Wendy. Her name is Wendy Thomas. Is Dave Thomas's daughter, Wendy. Today is her birthday, 1961. So go get a triple stack.
Well, and real quick shout out. And this is old news, but it's not old news. Just happened last week. But shout out Coco Golf.
Oh yeah,
U.S. Open champ. Go girl. Go Coco.
Everybody was screaming USA when we were in the Philadelphia Eagles fans of Boston.
Yeah. Go ahead, Coco. Proud of you. Keep up the great work. Listen, that's our show for today on A2D Radio. Vetted with Irving Fryar, Hollis Thomas. We'll see you next week. Same time, same place, same purpose. More information about the victory against the Vikings.
Damn Skippy.
Peace.
Go Birds.